Hey there, welcome back to New Eyes Open. My name is Stephanie, and here we are again, showing up another day for myself, showing up for you, and encouraging you to show up for yourself. And my question for you today is, what are you showing up for in your life? What story are you writing with your everyday actions, your everyday choices? My daughter inspired this earlier today when she told me, I wonder if God's like writing our story and just wants to make it the best that he possibly can. And I was like, that's pretty profound for a 13-year-old. And yeah, except for I feel like we get to um, write along with God, yeah, him or her. um, because we do with our choices. Circumstances appear in our life, but they only have the significance that we give them. We can choose to look at things one way or look at them another. We can choose to react. We can choose to be proactive and do things to prevent or circumvent unwanted things. And then even when unwanted events come into our lives, we once again get to choose how we show up and respond. So, what are you showing up for in your life, and how are you showing up? And what do you want to show up for in your life? That's really what this channel is all about. New Eyes Open was inspired by, studying abroad and coming back and seeing the world that once was normal and I once looked at, from one perspective in a totally different light. And in some ways, cultivating even an even greater sense of gratitude for what is or what appeared to be here. And then in some ways developing a bit of a critical eye and, seeing where I wanted things to be different for myself, at least in my family. And that's really what it's all about. Like looking at yourself, what traits do you see right now that maybe you've labeled, negatively, that really it's just part of who you are, and you need to, or not need to, but you get to choose how you accept that trait or don't accept that trait. Like, yeah, and then looking at your life, you don't have to live the way that you lived before. You do get to make different choices. And the further we go down one particular path, the more difficult it can be to get off of that path and choose a new one. However, it is still possible. I was a school teacher, and now I'm here talking to you, in front of my phone camera. And I'm going to post this on YouTube later. I have, I'm making more from one client than I did in an entire month of working at as a school teacher, even with a master's degree in education. My children were in public school, and now they are unschooled. And they are learning so much more, and not because I don't want to. This is not to put down teachers or anything like that. I was one. I tried my best. I poured my heart and soul into the students that I had. And so I know other teachers are doing the same thing. But the fact of the matter is, I wanted my kids to develop a calm and regulated nervous system. And I knew that the pace of life we were living at when we were going to school and going out to work every day was very different than what I wanted them to develop with. And here's the thing. I believe, the way I see it, and this is all about my New Eyes Open, so it's the way I see it, is if we can allow them to develop their nervous system the way that it's meant to be from the beginning and really build it up, then they are more resilient and more capable of taking on stress in a healthy way when they're grown and gone and becoming entrepreneurs themselves, because that is the other part. I'm raising up future entrepreneurs. I'm raising up creators, not followers, not consumers. Um, and that is, all based on when I started looking at my life and seeing it with new eyes, how I saw that I wanted to shift the story in our lives. And when I started looking at things and thinking, okay, how could this be different? Like, how could this align more with my actual values? That's when this whole new world or realm of possibilities opened up for me. And the more I started following the possibilities, the things that lit me up, the things that were exciting, the things that were edgy and risky and daring, um, the more I found more possibilities and just grew and developed so many skills that I never even envisioned developing. Um, and yet, when I look back, I can see little seeds along the way of desires. I remember when I was back, when I was getting my undergrad degree, and I decided to major in Spanish because I was already a mom and I wanted it to be easy, because really my number one focus was my daughter at the time. I only had one at that time. Um, and just full transparency, I had lost one. And so the one that I had was very important to me. She's the most important thing in my life. And so I decided that if I majored in Spanish, I could be a Spanish teacher. I already spoke Spanish. And so then I would be able to be with her more than if I were to go to some corporate job. And yet, I had some friends that were getting their degrees through the business school, and I was fascinated by what they were learning, and it intrigued me, and I wanted to be a businesswoman. I wanted to be in business, but the more important thing to me at that time was my daughter. And so I made that choice, and I don't regret that choice. And yet here I am. I am actually, I do consulting work with entrepreneurs right now. So, and, coach high achievers, many of whom are entrepreneurs themselves. And so it's just really fun to see how I can see the hand that was scripting the story all along. And yet I did get to choose how I was going to show up and what I was going to show up for and what I was going to choose in the moment. And so do you. And so today I'm going to try to keep it short. It's been a really long day. It's a whole other topic for another video, but taking care of your vessel is key in order for you to be able to show up for yourself and for other people. Show up first for yourself and then for others. But yeah, we've actually had some critters keeping us up at night. And so my sleep has been not the greatest, and I can definitely feel it. But just wanted to encourage you today to remember that you do get to co-create, co-write this story of yours by choosing what you want and how you want to show up, what you want to show up for, and how you want to show up for it each and every day of your life. And if there's something in your life that you don't like, if they're, start looking at it with new eyes and exploring the possibilities. How could this be different? What's one little thing that I could change? What is the smallest, the least, the minimum effective dose of something I could, inject into this situation to make it better? And just start thinking about it that way. Ask those questions. I wonder how this could be different. I wonder what possibilities there are here. I wonder how this could align more with what I really feel is true for me. And be open to receive those answers. and they'll come your way. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. If you would like somebody to hold space for you as you ask those questions, or ask those questions so that you're not, having a conversation with yourself or feel like you're having a conversation with yourself, you're not. You're having a conversation with your higher self, with your creator when you do this. So you're not crazy. You are actually probably more sane than most when you start thinking and believing and questioning along these lines. Or at least that's how I see it. And I get to see it however I want to. And I encourage you to see it however you want to, too. See yourself with new eyes, see your life with new eyes, and see what's possible with new eyes open to everything that could be. And with that, if my voice resonates, which it kind of feels a little different today. Got a lot of congestion, who knows? But if my voice resonates, if you feel something stirring and you feel inspired to leave a comment, do so below. I covet your likes, your subscribes, your shares, all the things to push this out to more people. And with that, until tomorrow, I hope you're well, my friend. Have a great evening.